Hi, my name's Denise. I'm an artist in Australia. This video is sort of a bit of a process video where you'll see the progress of one or two paintings from earlier stages to nearly finished, or one of them gets finished. Um, to be honest, I am discombobulated. I'm finding it really tricky to try and piece together a bunch of my videos that I've been creating over the time because during this time I've been thrown into deep grief over losing my little dog. And so it's really hard to focus and do my editing. And so if you can be patient, um, the next couple of videos, I just want to keep the momentum going. And if some of the footage has been in a previous video, if you're one of my beautiful, loyal followers, I apologize for the repeat. Um, I think I've put in this one a longer behind the scenes before, and whereas last week's was sharing the collection that's going to Sydney. So, yeah, if you can be patient, that would be so appreciated, and let me know what you think below.
Okay, I thought I would talk through the progress of creating this painting. So, again, I am painting over something that I tried before but didn't really work. I had this table set up actually back in Sydney, and I had a window to the left of the frame there, and my chair was actually to the right, like it is. And I thought I actually put some flowers, and I had flowers laying down on the table. They'll be in some different video way back, I think. I couldn't find it. And I'm just at the moment there, you can see rubbing off all the chalk. So that brings nice fresh clarity to the image, so I can see where am I at, and then I might chalk in other things or just see. It's sort of like just calming it down because it feels a bit messy sometimes when you've got new paint lines, chalk lines. You don't know, can't quite tell where you're up to. So that can be really helpful, wiping away all the chalk when it's all very, very dry. I had a bunch of flowers to the left. I think sort of roses, peonies, roses that I tried to draw from life. Um, and I don't know, didn't quite work. This technique of painting is really inspired by Hope Olsen. I really love her work, but hoping to bring my own kind of elements as well to it. So there's the flowers. I'm trying to make them more interesting. I felt like the strawberries were far too big, but I just made a decision. I don't care. I'm leaving giant strawberries. That can be okay. Sometimes you sort of got to, I don't know, accept. Well, I do. I choose to accept that. Oh, okay. Shift change. This is me arriving into the studio one day, and sometimes I have little easels set up on the table over by the window. And incidentally, that window is south facing, which is the not sunny side, as opposed to the northern hemisphere when your south facing is very sunny. That's our north. So you probably already knew that, but I find that kind of interesting how everything's the opposite. I'm always curious, with feng shui and all of those sort of things that are based on the orientation of your house. I always need to check, hang on, is this book written for the northern hemisphere or the southern? Because I think it would make things different. So it's a nice light for painting, the southern. It's not so piercing as the north can be very bright. So that's interesting. But I have got a whole wall to the east that is sort of perspexy, and it throws a big yellow glow. So sometimes you'll see on my videos it all might look quite yellowy, and that will be because of the light that's in my studio. I'm halfway through this painting, this was a four panels that I painted very abstractly quite a while ago. I kind of love this. It's like a wild ocean with a cliff. I don't know what quite that was now because I've started drawing into it. But anyway, they all had this very bright orangey and blue. So I decided to rework them for this next group of paintings. And it's quite exciting to have such an interesting background, even though most of this will disappear. You can see how much life this orange sort of is bringing. So even when I paint over it, letting bits of it still shine through is giving a lot of life to the painting. And I was listening to a podcast this morning, and it was about, you know, the creative spirit and letting it have its way. Let the painting sometimes tells us what it wants. You can't force it and things like that. Yeah, and I was thinking about how it's been really quite difficult in the last few days. I've had headaches and I feel the pressure of another deadline, and instead of being in the joy of creativity, it's had me in the worry of the timeline, or am I getting this right? I'm not painting fast enough. And then I lost a whole day to headache. So it's amazing to me how that pattern can repeat with me. Yeah, I guess it doesn't help sometimes when your art is your business. Like I think I've talked about that before. When you are in somewhat relying on it to bring you income, it has a whole another energy to it. So, you know, I'm always working on that as to how to diversify and have that not be the sole thing. So yeah, I'm coming back in here today, and I'm just so excited and loving this kind of interesting breakfasty thing I've got going. And you know, it's directly relating to one I did before, and then I did another pair for Melbourne, and that sold. So you know, there is a bit of sticking with something that's working. As again, like when there's a timeline, that makes sense sometimes to do that. But bringing, you know, new color, new whatever bits and pieces to it, that it will have a different mood, and trying to just get a bit braver with spreading things around, and also noticing how difficult I can make it for myself if I don't have the design ready. And so I walked past my sketchbook. I did that sketch recently when we had friends over for morning tea, and I just loosely sketched the table. So I thought, oh, that would be quite fun if I could bring maybe this onto one or both of these. Although I've kind of gone with that shape thinking that is more dynamic than just straight across. But the straight across can allow for a whole arrangement of things and not worrying too much about the perspective, like that's flat, that's standing up. Just sort of like mix it up and don't worry. I really love that kind of freedom. So that's what I'm up to today.
There's the setup, the mess I've got in front of my little easels, and the progress of the painting, which I may have shared. I have shared, I think, this in another video, but I'm not sure if I shared this particular footage of the progress of this painting. So I'll just put some music on for this bit.
So I've added a few more bits and pieces, calmed it down, I guess you might say, so that
the features that I've painted can be the heroes and not the placemats, I suppose. But I wanted to have a look what happens when we put this up. Has it got a bit of a, it's a bit tricky, there's a bit of a shadow thing going on. Let's see if I can just put that over the thing there. Isn't that interesting to see the darks and the lights? So that's what I've got to think about next, is what's working, what's not. Oh, it's quite interesting to look at. It's kind of tricky. I'm looking at it on the screen here, as opposed to looking at it in real life size. So anyway, that's what I'll hang out with next, is to just see, do I need to change and make some lights lighter, make some midtones either light or dark, you know, like and getting the scale happening to give the more movement. But I do enjoy how it looks like this, how you can see there is a lot of lights. So that's going to be interesting. This is actually just a piece of red Perspex. It's plastic, and you get it and it's got a sticker on each side to keep it nice and clean. So I ordered a couple of them. I just looked online, red Perspex, and so they're really, it's a great tool. I'm coming back to rework this painting because I was sort of hoping for a kind of a calmish sort of palette, and I had a dark green table which I thought, all right, that'd be fun to leave some of the bits peeping through, and I used this sort of lilac-y kind of colour, and it's not working for me. And so it's been good to have these two that I've been working on this morning and then come back and have a look at these and see, oh, okay, I want to lighten this one up. So what I've done first is just put some stripes on that cup and saucer, and I have refreshed the green stripes on here, and the two plates with a green that I thought was a bit more yummy because they were more like that, which I was enjoying on that day, but now it's a new day and I wanted the green to be a bit more yummy. And so what I'm toying with is, what if I paint the tablecloth the really fiery orange tangerine thing that I have over here, because I saw how much it brings it alive. So that's a possibility. It'll take it in a whole different direction, but then I guess it will sort of be in keeping with these. So that is the lovely thing about when you're working in a group of paintings, that you know, you leave something aside, go work on something else, these two, and then they start to talk back to this one, which I love that. I've decided to ask the painting, shall I paint the whole underpainting orange? Or actually, it's not orange, it is cadmium red light hue. And I get a yes. So it's an interesting one. I noticed just how really kind of dull. It's looking a deeper red, not at all like what it shows up on the brush. So that shows you what happens when there's a sort of a neutral purpley tone underneath it. even though these have got plastic on them because they came back from the framers and I'm just keeping them protected. These are the pair that I have ready to go to Sydney Affordable Art Fair. But since painting this and getting these ready and sending it off to the framer, actually, Aura passed away later that night, and I just don't think I can part with this painting now. So I had one more board that was not painted, and I got the framer to put the frame around it for me, which I took off just for now. So I've been repainting another version of this one. So it may well be that they can hang alongside each other, but it will not. This is unlikely to be identical to this. And now I'm considering what little puppy dog to put on the chair. Can you see how the difference it makes having a little being on a chair over there? Such a huge difference. And the little look and tilt of that head and the little sparkle in that eye is such a essence of our little Aura. I can't part with it. And I'm very, very blessed to have a beautiful two women who own the gallery that I'm with, Stephen Street Gallery, and I know they'll understand. I'm really grateful for that. So that's the little one there, and it can sit quite nicely next to this one, this little pussycat. I actually called these ones Breakfast with the Fur Kids 1 and 2, and this pair here, I called this one Sunday Morning. You know, it's nice to sit down with a bit of a cooked breakfast on a Sunday morning. So it's sort of quite graphic and fun. Got the blues this time. This one's sort of the colour palette that the other last pair with Sunday Morning was. Quite like all the kind of neutral greys and greens with the pops of the bright food and flowers. And our new friend, I think I wanted to call him Granville, which is a bit cute. And I called this one, did someone say cheese? And this little one, Kitty Cafe, I think it is. So that one's pretty fun. Really striking, the vermilion sort of colour with that ultramarine blue. Quite beautiful. And another little fur friend. And then this pair of, well, pairs everywhere. This pair of blue ones with very similar, also based on some still life leaves and things that I had in the studio. So it is definitely quite fun working from real shapes of botanicals. Definitely I'll be doing more of that, I think, because I love that. The 2 cups, one for you, one to share. And this one, white protea. More pairs. And 2 cups. That one's, yeah, white protea, and this one, I think I just called it Banksia. So I'm pretty happy with those two. They feel lovely. They'd be nice to live with. This one had a little edit. I just brought in some olive green in the front area, sort of on the table.
and added a bit more foliage and a bit more definition to the background, and a bit more foliage in this pot, a bit Zanzibar leaf-like. So hopefully that gives it a little more, I don't know, something, and it finds a new home in Sydney.
This weekend, as this video gets published, there will be the art fair at Sydney Carriage Works in Sydney. So the Affordable Art Fair Australia in Sydney. So I was there last year. It was very exciting. It's a new venue this time. It was at the race course last time. So this one is a new venue at Carriage Works. And you will find my work with Stephen Street Gallery. Alicia and Tony are wonderful and they will look after you. So hopefully you can get along there and enjoy the art fair. All right. Thanks for watching. I love to hear from you. If you want to comment below, I will reply and let me know what you think. And thank you for subscribing and liking the videos, because it really helps. I am wanting to grow this little channel, and your sharing and watching really helps. All right. See you next time.